Well, the PlayStation Plus monthly freebies for the month of, what month are we in? Goddamn, this year is flying by so fast. It is the month of October. We now know what games the PlayStation Plus subscribers will be getting, quote-unquote, free. Obviously, you have to keep your subscription to keep access to these games. I have to say that the games are pretty decent, all things considered. I wouldn't say that they're absolute blowaway games, but honestly, given the fact that I've seen a lot of people disappointed recently with some of the monthly offerings, I think this one is pretty good. You have two distinctly different games, and I think one of them is of incredibly high quality. One of them, in Vampire, I thought was the most underrated game, or one of the most underrated games of, I believe, 2018 when it released. Yeah, so it is a little bit older. I mean, 2 years old, that's not really that bad for a Plus freebie. And then you also have Need for Speed Payback, which Need for Speed in recent years has not been that great. I mean, Need for Speed going back to, like, Rivals, I would say, has been rather inconsistent, and honestly, I would say borderline bad, but Need for Speed Payback was not terrible. Maybe it wasn't $60 good, but as a PlayStation Plus free offering, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. So we'll be talking about both games, but first of all, let's talk Vampire. So this came out back in June of 2018, and it was done by Don't Nod Entertainment. If you're unfamiliar with them, they worked on Life is Strange, and I believe more recently they also did Tell Me Why, which is not available on the PlayStation platform, but it is on Xbox. Vampire, on the other hand, very much still narrative driven, however, obviously a bigger emphasis on the gameplay. I wouldn't say that the gameplay was that incredibly strong, however, since release of the game, Don't Nod did update Vampire, and now it does have an easier mode, so if you find the gameplay a little bit cumbersome, you can just go that route. You can play the game in this story-based mode, and the gameplay just at that point becomes relatively easy. I'm not going to say the gameplay is absolutely atrocious. It's just not, you know, the quality level and the standard for high quality action games is pretty freaking high, and Vampire obviously doesn't stand against a game like Devil May Cry 5. It's just not at that level. It's a little bit slower paced, a little bit clunkier, but I do have to say, I thought the main character was great. I thought the setting was great. I thought the voice acting was excellent, and I thought the story was rather good. Ending is a little bit divisive for most people, but I think overall it's a high quality title, and it still does go for like $15 to $20, so this as a freebie I think is solid, especially because I would like to imagine that this is a game that a lot of people ended up missing out on. I mean, it wasn't like this gigantic release. It kind of came out, I played it, I really enjoyed it. I've been touting how good it is when it does go on sale and we do our PlayStation Store coverage videos, but it's not like this game was this barn burner that was everywhere. Yes, I think it did over-deliver to a lot of people, and it sold better than a lot of people expected. I think Don't Nod and Focus Home Interactive, the publisher of this game, were touting the success of this game, but obviously expectations going into the release of Vampire wasn't that it was going to be this grandiose action RPG that was going to sell millions upon millions of copies. So while it did do rather well, it actually surpassed 1 million copies sold within 10 months. It's still a game that's a little bit niche, and I don't think a lot of people checked it out. So if you're one of those people, give it a shot. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to enjoy it. Set in 1918, and I think all around it's a pretty good game with a great setting, great aesthetic, style, and atmosphere. I really enjoyed that about it. Alright, so also we have Need for Speed Payback. Look, I've played like every Need for Speed game going back to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Hot Pursuit was amazing, and that game is going to get a remaster. Be excited for that at some point. Hopefully that does come out. Payback? Okay, Payback at $59.99, it was not a good game. $59.99, like, you have to assess the fact that when you go back and look at these games' review scores and things of that nature, you're talking about a game that came out and they charged $60 for it. That's a big price to pay, and Need for Speed Payback absolutely was not worth $60. However, when you change things up and now it's a PlayStation Plus freebie, Need for Speed Payback suddenly isn't all that bad. It's a pretty enjoyable arcade racer. Honestly, outside of the one Need for Speed game that was just titled Need for Speed, that game was atrocious. Need for Speed Payback is not on that level of being bad. It's actually a serviceable arcade racer, and alongside Vampire, I think there is fun to be had, especially because, again, what I like about PlayStation Plus and what I think constitutes a successful month of PlayStation Plus, you have two distinct experiences. Don't give me, you know, a single-player game and then another single-player game that's super similar. How about you give me, like, a Vampire that's going to be a single-player story-driven experience, and then you have Need for Speed Payback. Yes, I know, like, yeah, nobody's buying Need for Speed Payback for the narrative and the storytelling. I hate to break your hype for Need for Speed Payback, but it doesn't have the best story in the world. But it's an enjoyable game from an arcade racing fan standpoint, and if you pick it up with those expectations in line and you're not expecting, you know, a game at the level of like Forza Horizon 4, I think you will end up being pretty happy with the game, especially alongside Vampire. I think these act as two games that complement each other rather well. That's just my opinion. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Some people are very cynical about PlayStation Plus these days. I like to give them, you know, a little bit of credit, even though I know sometimes we just absolutely hate on it. I mean, people hated on last month where we got frickin' a Fall Guys. I mean, how can you hate on getting Fall Guys for free? It was a brand new game. I don't really see how people hated on that, but nevertheless, you know, sometimes games are going to be for some people, sometimes they're not going to be for some people. This month, honestly, I expect a little bit of backlash just because these are two lesser-known games and Need for Speed is kind of a meme these days, but nevertheless, I think it's pretty decent. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.